welcome to Cary, North Carolina, and one of the most beautiful soccer facilities in the nation at Wake Med Park, and it feels like a soccer party here at the soccer tournament. $1 million on the line to the winner of this tournament, 16 women's teams, and it's a battle of two unbeaten teams in Group A as the 1-0 U.S. women take on 1-0 Process FC. Hi, everyone. I'm Elise Woodward with Sari Rose in charge of growth with U.S. Soccer. And last year, the U.S. women won this tournament, but they didn't start the way that they wanted. They started with a loss. Yesterday, they got the win that they were looking for.
Last year, they lost 3-0 to Streetball FC, and it was a shocker for them, but they regrouped, and they were tremendous the rest of the tournament. Yesterday, they were organized defensively. They came out with a game plan, and they were able to go up 2-0 and beat Austin Rise, who is another good team.
Well, these soccer.com players to watch yesterday, Lindsay Harris in goal for the U.S. women was fantastic. 9 saves, and she was an absolute wall.
She is. She's a stalwart for the defense. She's been on this team since they played in the men's bracket 2 years ago, and just a tremendous shot stopper. Even in that torrential downpour, she was able to get a hand on it, able to get her body in front of it, and kept them in the match the entire time.
Incredible. She was the MVP. For Process FC, Marta Cox scored 2 goals yesterday in their win, including the game winner. What makes her dangerous?
Well, she is just a nightmare up top. She's able to score in a variety of ways and has an absolute banger of a shot, especially on set pieces and free kicks.
She is one to watch here as the U.S. women take on Process FC. Day 2 of the soccer tournament. Time to get rolling. The winner of this game secures a spot in the quarterfinals. Intensity will be high, and kickoff coming up next.
The soccer tournament is presented by RBC Wealth Management, the official wealth management partner of TST.
Well, a gorgeous day for soccer here in North Carolina. We are in Cary at Wake Med Park, the soccer tournament. Women's Group A, Round 2. Both these teams got wins yesterday in their TST debuts in the year 2025. And so the Group A standings, as these two sit atop, the winner of this game will advance to the quarterfinals in this 16-team field on the women's side.
And when you're looking at this bracket, it's a little deceptive. Austin Rise, I thought, was a tremendous team yesterday. An unbelievable woman-owned group. They're going to be playing 2026 WPSL League 2, and so it'll be interesting to see how they do today and if they can jump up. Angel City, they're a returner from last year, have a different squad, but Saskia Weber feels like they just struggled yesterday and they're looking to rebound today.
Yeah, this is a tough group, of course, and when you're paired in with the U.S. women with so many legends that are on the pitch. Heather O'Reilly, again, the general manager for this women's team, and putting together a collection of stars: Kat Whitehill, Allie Long, Allie Krieger, Carly Lloyd. It's an incredible group, and that's just a few of them. We highlighted Lindsay Harris, the goalkeeper, former player at North Carolina. While there's some heavy ties to the U.S. women, even heavier ties to the North Carolina Tar Heels.
Exactly, and Heather O'Reilly has been on that staff for years since she's retired, and really just such a tremendous leader and really just a role model for young players, right? She's bringing in players like Kate Fossey. She's got Tessa Della Rose back, and she is just so instrumental, not just to this team, but really to TST, because she was the driving force behind getting the women's bracket here, and it has absolutely flourished the past 2 years.
The thing you need to know, $1 million is on the line to the winner. The U.S. women won it a year ago. At the soccer tournament, it is target score time. We will play 2 20-minute halves of 7v7, and then we go into target score time. The leading team has to score one more goal, and that is the target score for the winner. But we've seen some crazy things in target score time here already this season.
Well, and even yesterday, or this morning, target score time with the Solo FC versus Albion. Late goal, just able to post up in front of the goalkeeper, Valentina Amarel, for Solo FC, and the ball just gets through, and Solo FC sees themselves go down and lose in that target score time 1-0 after a tremendous 40 minutes of play.
Krieger looking to put the U.S. on the board early and handled defensively. She goes at it again.
And number 8, Abby Boyen, really posting up against Carly Lloyd, not afraid of her. It's a Jersey girl versus a Jersey girl.
No offside as Heather O'Reilly goes all the way to the goal line. Something to watch. You can get behind the defense. It is unique. Just like that, as she puts it behind the goal. Tough angle for Heyo.
And it'll be an interesting matchup between number 10, Carly Lloyd in blue for the U.S., and number 8, Abby Boyen for Process FC. Abby's a Jersey girl who said she grew up playing on the PDA O'Reilly squad, so getting to now play against a hero of hers.
That's incredible. That is what TST is about. Right here inside the box, and a hot shot to the right of the frame. Yeah, there was some pop behind that attempt.
And you can see the transition of Process FC. A good ball in a cross. Number 15, Mary Flores, can't get it past Kat Whitehill. But this Process team is extremely dangerous in transition and dynamic.
Here's Carly Lloyd, was pregnant last year, did not get to play. Wanted to come back now at the age of 42 and get back on the pitch. This is one of the youngsters, Tessa Della Rose, won a national championship with North Carolina this year. Will be back with the Tar Heels. And she was the TST tournament MVP last year. The youngster won it over some of the vets.
She's just an absolute engine. Her ability to play both sides of the ball and get up and down the pitch, especially in transition, so dangerous.
Here she is, trying to win possession instead. It is Process FC. Giving it a goal, here in just the 3rd minute of play for Process FC, and they take the early lead against the U.S. women.
And Mary Flores, number 15, Mexican national team player. She's going to receive this ball, takes a good couple of prep touches, and then just launches that near post past Lindsay Harris. So a stunner early on by Process FC.
Boy, that was an absolute rocket from Flores. From Fullerton, California, plays at USC and missed the first 8 games of USC season last year to play with Mexico with the U20 World Cup. What a moment for her here against the U.S. women. And here she is again going at Harris.
I love it. Her goal's with the right foot, and then that's a nice shot with the left foot. It was a good pass in by number 10, Marta Cox, and you can see just how dynamic Cox is on the ball, but gets it, turns her hips, and forces Harris to make the save.
It's got to really give your confidence a boost when you score early against the defending TST champs full of legends. So the U.S. looking at an early hole to climb out of here.
And that was a little bit of a heavy touch there by Carly Lloyd, but you can see Tessa De La Rose looking to overlap, get into the attack.
De La Rose goes short. And now right in front of it. Oh, early answer. The equalizer from Carly Lloyd. Just put it in front of the net. And the U.S. on the board.
And that's a very prototypical TST goal, right? Kimball's going to drop it off. It's the shot in, it deflects off. And there's Lloyd, who's in an offside position if this is 11v11, but she's able just to poke it in and gets the equalizer.
It reminds me of a zone defense in basketball where you get behind the lowest player. You cannot do that in 11v11. But here, 7v7 with no offside, it changes the angles. And Carly Lloyd loving it on that possession as she gets the first goal for the U.S. women and a quick answer to that goal by Flores.
And Carly started the match yesterday. She only had one shot in it, and so she's coming out today. And you can see they were being a little physical with her early on, and that is not what you want to do against Carly because she thrives on that and has such a chip on her shoulder.
Here's Casey Lloyd onto the pitch, number 27 for the U.S., wearing those Navy kits, and the shot just over the top of the frame for Kessler. Might have been good on a regulation-size goal, but these are only 6.5 feet tall.
And Kessler's the one non-U.S., non-UNC player, but she is such a terrific player for them. She can play up top, or a lot of times they use her as that outside back that likes to get forward.
So the corner kick played short to the near post, and Allie Long, number 6 for the U.S. women, with the touch. And so no goal kicks. Or excuse me, no punts for the goalkeepers, but Process FC taking over. And after game 1 yesterday, you can almost feel a better rhythm today. It's a unique style and lots of new rules in TST, and it's fun, very quick-paced. Cox from distance. And let's send it down to the third member of our crew, Alexis Nunez.
Drop. Get ready to come off in our possession. Good job, AK.
All right, thanks so much, guys. We've got Lori Lindsay here with us, someone who really needs no introduction in women's U.S. soccer now. The girls have bounced back. There was a little scare with a nice golazo, but what do you make of the game so far, Lori?
Yeah, good. I think, we knew it was going to be a quick turnaround, so everyone is just about getting our legs going early on in this game, but patient in the attack, and I love the response because no one's panicking and just continuing to possess and be patient in the attack, which is the key. So.
Now, it's pretty good because now we've seen against Austin Rise and then now Process FC, there's some big heavy hitters on U.S. women, but some of the young girls are coming out with no fear. That's just great for the game overall.
Yeah, we're loving it. That was actually the goal because we knew last year our best players were our young players who can run all day. So I'm like, keep it going. I barely played because I was like, just keep running. So, yeah, we're happy to have them. We love the mix of the players that we have, but, 6 games to win the championship. So one game at a time, but also it's all about the rotation, it's all about the team. But the young players, we are pumped to have them, and they are playing with no fear, and it just shows the quality.
And if they need you, are you ready to lace up and go out there?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm the sporting director / general manager this year, so I'm just going to tell everybody what to do instead. So, but we're having a great time. This is what happened. So I was like, I didn't play that much last year. I'm like, bring the younger players in. So here we are. So I will not be lacing up, no.
And speaking of some of the younger players, because we know the Jen Beatties, the Ali Kriegers, the Heather O'Reillys, etc., and of course the Carly Lloyds who just scored. But for you, a one to watch from the young crop that you guys have on this U.S. Women, who would it be?
Yeah, Tess Delarose, one of our players. She was our MVP last year, continues to shine. She'll be a senior at North Carolina. So thrilled to have her again, and hopefully we're just going to get better as the tournament goes on. So, yeah, she's one to watch.
Well, no pressure for Tess there. She got the votes of confidence from the Lori Lindsay. Lori, thank you so much.
Thank you. Good to see you. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Alexis, and Lori as well. Yeah, 44 years old. She said, I'm going to just tell people what to do instead of running around out there with the U.S. national team from 2005 to 2013, and then a decorated professional career as well. Great to have her involvement on the sideline.
And you can see how the U.S. has picked up on the tactics of sevens-a-side soccer. We're seeing them really look to overload the ball on the side, and Heather O'Reilly extremely comfortable playing offside. She has exited the pitch, but when you're looking at these players up top, it's definitely a different game plan than what they came out with last year.
So Process FC getting on the board early in the 3rd minute. The U.S. with the answer. So new ball game tied up at 1 apiece. This is Bella Devery, number 7 for the U.S., and her shot off the left foot right at the keeper, Kayla Burns, the 5'9" goalkeeper out of Temple University, graduated from the University of Delaware.
She really was a top goalkeeper in the CAA, and what they love about her is she's also pretty technical, so she's comfortable with the ball on her feet, as we see there.
There's Flores, who had that first goal for Process FC, number 15 in white. Process FC out of Atlanta, Georgia. They also have a facility in Costa Rica. They're an organization that started in 2009 as a small training program, and they have grown tremendously and giving women opportunities to be trained as they are professionals. So 2 halves here for TST soccer of 20 minutes each, and then you go into target score time. US very patient on this possession already. Close enough to give it a go. Process FC really just plugging it up right now, sagging with everybody inside the box.
And you can see how the U.S. has the ball. They're looking to try and play that ball out wide. So on either side, you've got Tessa Delarose on one side and you've got Fossey on the other. But that was just a quick shot by Ali Krieger. Still getting used to the fact that the goal is smaller. We've seen a couple of those long-distance shots. She's got to put those on the ground, and then can they create a little kerfuffle or a second ball?
Turn here, ooh, and then taken away by Kessler. It was Emma Hawkins. Had a little bit of room before that window closed quickly. Kate Fossey, number 13, with some pressure. She scored a goal yesterday for the U.S. women, a Mac Herman Trophy Award winner from North Carolina last year. And this shot right at the keeper, Kayla Burns, who handles it cleanly. In addition to all things TST, log on to tst7v7.com/watch to find the other TST matches on YouTube throughout the tournament. All kinds of great soccer action, big names, electric environment. It was a torrential downpour in Cary, North Carolina yesterday, and the fans, they didn't care. They just popped out the umbrellas, some ponchos, and fantastic environment. Today the weather is fabulous. Supposed to be sunny all day and much cooler than it was a year ago here for TST. US with the takeaway. Evelyn Shores, number 2, with the ball at her foot.
And you can see the patience and intentional play of this U.S. squad. They're waiting for their subs to get on. They're not going forward unless they have numbers.
Oh, great ball just out of the reach of Shores. And those are the type of connections that really work when it's low on the ground and small, tight connections.
That's a bit of the evolution of this U.S. squad, really being able to play that short ball in, take players on, and can they unbalance the defense, create some openings. But we can see how dangerous this Process FC in that transition. Such technical players.
Kat Whitehull with a good ball up the left flank and now played back. Another good chance drawing a corner from Alex Kimball. Another North Carolina product. And on the Peru national team. Represented Peru in the 2022 Copa America tournament. She sends it in and off the head, but too tall.
Well, and Kimball came in off of the bench yesterday. She led U.S. with 3 shots and really plays as that post-up target player at times. Can they find her and play off of her?
U.S. with some pressure here. Ooh, Shores almost there with the open net. But instead, Process FC at the foot of Flores. Good heel flick, and Harris goes to the ground. Good possession and attempt was quality there from Process FC.
What I love about this is Carly Lloyd coming all the way back. She was high up there, but she's helping Kat Whitehill to double down on that player. Good shot in and an easy save there by Harris.
Good defense for Process FC for the whistle.
And you can just see how technical this Process FC team is with Marta Cox, Mary Flores, and even Flo Jord.
We need to make sure who's left back. AK left back. Get ready to come out, okay? AK left back. Left back. Look how Casey gets off the field. Left back.
You can hear the instructions as players on the fly repositioning. Kimball goes to the left back on the free kick, ball bouncing around. And it pops out to Kimball. Trying to drive that one on the ground. Kat Whitehill. She's got such great lofting passes. That time tried to drive it on the ground, couldn't connect.
I was talking to her after the game, and I said, Kat, I referred to you as the general in the back line. And she goes, well, you could probably refer to me as the grandma if you wanted to, but she's just been tremendous, and you can see constantly moving her arms, helping to organize the players on either side of her.
43 years old, not a grandma yet, from Richmond, Virginia. On the national team for the U.S. from 2000 to 2010 for Whitehill as she gets it to Della Rose, and now Process FC with a takeaway, but quickly gives it right back. And Whitehill with the ball at her foot before she gives way to Ali Long. So substitutions are free. It's much like hockey. You just have to get all the way off the field before the sub can come in. And that was Olivia Thomas, the 5'10" junior forward from UNC, number 33 for the U.S. Applying the pressure here. She's got some fresh legs.
Process FC is comfortable working the ball around the back. When I was talking to their coaches yesterday, they said our formation is a 1-6 if we're doing it well. They want to get everybody forward. You can see they're just not able to capitalize on that opening for a shot. But he said our style is fluid chess, constantly adjusting and changing. And we haven't seen them on the ball too much. But they have been dangerous when they're in transition.
Less than 2 minutes until the first half terminates. And we are knotted at 1 goal apiece. It was Mary Flores with the first goal for Process FC. Process FC continues to just pack it in. No pressure at all. U.S. able to massage the ball. And FC has been effective. The takeaway, and now with a minute to go until halftime, the U.S. will have a chance to go up a goal with the ball in their hands.
And they've been extremely patient in the attack. You can see them just knocking the ball around. They're waiting for that right moment. Comfortable on the ball. Process FC doing a great job of staying compact and not really allowing any seams to open up for the U.S. to play into. Defensively have been very strong 1v1 as they're going against incredible dribblers like Heather O'Reilly and Casey Lloyd.
She drives it in right to the 6. Just a few seconds to go. That was a pretty good attempt from Kessler, but denied by the defense of Process FC. They are packing it in, and they have been effective. It is all knotted up at 1 here. Women's Group A round 2 between the U.S. women and Process FC's second half action coming up next. At halftime between the U.S. women and Process FC, we are knotted at 1. Mary Flores getting the first goal of the match, and then the equalizer by Carly Lloyd of the U.S. women. 76 degrees and a light breeze. It's beautiful as we get you ready for second half action. And here's today's first half stats brought to you by RBC Wealth Management. What jumps out to you, Sari?
Well, once again, we see the U.S. is leading in shots and shots on goal. They've been extremely effective in getting the ball on the ground, trying to create those openings to play a ball in. However, we saw with that Flores goal, Process FC can be extremely dangerous in transition. And so the U.S. really trying to pick and choose their moments to go forward so they don't get countered.
Well, the winner of this game secures a spot in the quarterfinals. We will have second half action coming up next.
Today's broadcast is presented by Coca-Cola, the official fan refreshment of TST.
Welcome back for second half action to Cary, North Carolina, the beautiful festival grounds here at Wake Med Park, one of the best facilities in the nation. 7 fields here in Cary, North Carolina. We had a torrential downpour yesterday, and the field today looks great all the way around. Group A standings, the U.S. women and Process FC both tied atop with 1-0 records. Something's got to give here in the second half in target score time, and the winner will be heading to the quarterfinals, so a lot on the line.
And Process FC is just such a disciplined squad, and they really gave fits yesterday to Angel City, so it'll be interesting to happen in that Angel versus Austin game, because we thought Austin FC was a really good team. They were just kind of enamored by the U.S. and struggled a bit. And look how compact Process FC is inside of the box.
That is the weakness of the packing it in. You got to get it to that goal line area, but zero pressure. You can see the style of this, just sitting there in the back defensively, trying not to give the U.S. any windows to work with.
And they're really compact defensively, packing it in, looking to see if they can't break out. We call that a low block in the 11s.
So the U.S. too much on the cross, and Process FC takes over. Taken away here by Shores. Heather O'Reilly trying to connect. Instead, FC will take it away. We'll see what they want to do offensively. Much more pressure by the U.S. as Kimball and Bella Devery give chase. Devery able to take it away, but too much as that one is out of bounds.
And I like that the U.S. is trying to pressure and see if they can't cough up a ball and then get transition. We saw yesterday Mana Shim had the Golden Fleece TST goal because she had pressured the goalkeeper.
Here's Devery with her left foot, and she scores! The youngster will be a freshman this year at North Carolina, and she puts the U.S. women on top.
And what I love about that is it comes from the pressure, right? So we see her getting the ball here. She's going to try and take it on. She actually loses it for a minute, but sticks with it and puts it on the ground, far post. Excellent placement. So she's taking those players on. Like we said, they're able to get in on it, sticks with it, finishes it. And now the U.S. up 2-1 on Process FC by number 7, Devery.
Great job going to the side netting on the far post. Bella Devery, had her learn her name, the 5'7" midfielder from Draper, Utah. Went to Lone Peak High School, and she was an absolute star there. 50 goals and 36 assists in her high school career, and spent a lot of time with the U.S. national youth teams. What an opportunity. You're a little teenager out here getting to share the field with some of the all-time best from the U.S. women's national team. And she says, all right, I'm not intimidated by the moment. I'll put a tally on the board and give our team the lead.
And I'm going to throw a kudos at Kenna Kessler because she was the one who played that initial ball into her. Doesn't get the assist, but it was a great ball in by Kessler again.
Olivia Thomas earning the corner kick, deflecting it off the defender, Beatrice Barbosa.
And Barbosa is another terrific defender for them. So solid. Coaches called her the X Factor. She just can play multiple positions. Super dynamics. We're seeing her a little bit more on the defensive.
Remember, $1 million will be awarded to the team that wins the TST. 16 women's teams in this tournament, doubling from last year in year one. Oh, off the bar. So close.
We see that was a great strike by Carly with her left. Such a tremendous shot by Carly Lloyd, which is probably why she had 134 goals for the U.S. in her career that spanned 316 games.
Ooh, this time the quick strike from Olivia Thomas is snagged out of the air from Kayla Burns, but the U.S. getting some quality looks to start the second half.
And we're seeing the U.S. really playing higher up on the pitch, right? They want to try and win the ball in that attacking third if they can. And then can they go and counter? The pressure from the U.S. defensively, I think, has really been tremendous.
There is that pressure that you speak of. Pushed all the way back. Mackenzie Cherry has it last touched, and so the U.S. earning a corner kick.
We've seen a variety of approaches. Sometimes they're going to play that, drive that in, and a lot of times they'll look for a short little pass in.
Long far post. Tracked down by Kessler. At the top of the 18, now inside. The one touch to Whitehill from Cat Whitehill. And the U.S. will retain it. Visit soccer.com, the official store of the soccer tournament, to get all of your merchandise. Some great stuff. Go check it out.
And the U.S. really looking to just split the pitch, get players out on the flank, like Thomas, 33, who they can isolate 1v1 and see if she can't combine. And here's Lloyd again.
Lloyd with the left. Woo! Boy, you can just see the power when she is able to get into her shot.
And the evolution of Carly Lloyd, she was a player at Rutgers, tremendous college player, but really hit her stride almost post-college, right? Always kind of was in the U23 team, then got left out, and it just really sparked a fire in her, and she was so focused in her career, which is why she's had such success.
And it's just so great to see her out here. Gave birth to her baby daughter just 8 months ago. And my goodness, she looks like she is in fantastic shape. She said, I'm not in tip-top shape, but you wouldn't know it. She is moving well, and it's just awesome to see one of my all-time favorites back out there. And she says she's back loving the game again, which is what, every player wants to end with some fun and that it's great to see her back out there with a smile on her face.
And we've got to remember the bar of tip-top shape for a Carly Lloyd is a standard that most will never achieve. Her average is, the best of some international players.
Yeah, I would say that when you are an Olympic medalist and the top of the soccer, the shape that you have to be in the lung capacity, I don't know if there's anything more difficult. Because it's sprinting, it's the long distance conditioning, it's the lateral quickness, you got to get down in a defensive stance. It is so much on your legs.
Well, and think of the longevity of her career and just the ability to mentally lock in every day to train to stay at that level. That's what separates players.
She's got some space here. And Process FC quickly back as Shores will play it back to Shim, who had the golden goal yesterday. Winning the Golden Fleece presented by Adidas. Beautiful scarf.
Get inside, Kate! Get inside, Kate! Get in, Kate!
Heather O'Reilly now back on top to Jen Beattie. Flips it up. Ooh, that was creative. Just over the top. The Adidas Golden Fleece awarded to the player who wins the game-winning goal, and there is always a game-winning goal in target score time. The winner with lifetime entry into TST and TBT, the basketball tournament. You show up rocking the scarf, your Golden Fleece, you got some street cred with that. Up ahead, this is Ginny Lakip, and it's a score! And we are tied. Lakip, the team captain. What a story she has to equalize, as she had given up the game. She got married, had kids, but wanted to come back to the game, and she gets on her horse and beats the U.S. women's defense back.
And that was Barbosa with the quick transition and just dribbled the length of the pitch. And we talked about how tremendous this team is in the counterattack, and we saw it there with Lakip getting the equalizer.
Lloyd snagged out, almost doing the splits there. And it pops right out. So last touched by Heather O'Reilly.
Oh, wait, no, it's not Evelyn. You're with Mana. Evelyn's not right back. Yeah, yeah. So, Mana will be next. Or, I don't know, did Mana just come up? You figure it out. If I... Yes, and yes, yes.
Heyo, ball at her feet.
Yeah, you go, yeah.
Gives way to Lloyd.
No, no, no. We got it with Evelyn now.
Two Lloyds on this team. Casey and Carly, no relation.
And then you've got Jill Lloyd. So, just
Close.
to confuse us.
Well, let's go down to the sideline and Alexis Nunez.
Yeah, guys, now I had to speak to Mari because that golazo that we saw that opened the scoring for Process, talk me through that because, oh, you guys have no fear against the legends that you're playing up against today.
Yeah, no, we have a very good group, very talented group. The goal couldn't have happened without them. Just the pressuring and the defensive work is what's really bringing us, like, you know, to be able to play our game because defense wins championships, and that's exactly what we're doing. And the offensive side of it, too, amazing, and super proud of this group and super honored to be playing with each of these girls. So.
Now, talk to me about the makeup of this team because a couple of different styles. You've got Americans, you've got Mexicanas, you've got Panameñas, you've got some big names, too, like Marta.
Yeah, no, it's super diverse. Everyone brings a little bit of their flair from their own country. Very experienced group as well. A lot of the girls play in Europe professionally, and I think that's what makes it, you know, just learning from each other, bouncing it off each other. We just connect very well.
Now, I promise you the U.S. women can't hear what we're going to talk about now, but tactically, what do you guys want to do to finish this off?
Like I said, defense wins championships and just do our thing, be us. I think... Sorry. No, but yeah, just be us, play like us, stay true to our identity, and just really confide in each other and believe in each other, and yeah, that's how we're gonna win this whole thing. So, yeah.
Well, Mari, we have to say muchísimas gracias for that golazo. We enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Alexis. Really creative free kick, or instead of going at the wall or to the left or the right, tried to connect on the right on the post. Didn't work, though.
Exactly. We talk about the evolution of this U.S. squad, and they are constantly coming up with different ways and approaches on their set pieces. Lloyd usually will just bang that in, but she was trying to connect with Long, and Long just couldn't get the ball out from underneath her feet. You see Lloyd, just a little cheekiness. She's going to hold up and play that pass in, but Long was just a step too close, and you can see her smiling because she wasn't able to hang on to that.
Guaranteed that was one thing they worked on as they led up to this tournament.
Well, the
Special situation there.
The downside of being in this tournament 3 years in a row is you start to notice those trends, and Lloyd does like to bang in a low-driven ball on set pieces, so they're trying to change it up to keep opponents on their toes.
Here's Long. Trying to crack this defense after Lekib scoring the equalizer. Kessler! So that one deflected. Lloyd coming onto the pitch. She will be the one here trying to give the U.S. a quality chance. Good ball. And just didn't have anyone in the area.
And I love that mid-range driven ball in with a little bit of bend on it. I think they were trying to get Krieger to run into the box, but just couldn't find it.
So 5 minutes left here in the second half before target score time. That would be, if it remains 2-2, pretty easy. Whoever scores the first goal in target score time. But we've got a lot of soccer left here in this one in the second half. Trying to turn is Thomas. She is denied. So De La Rose. And now taken away. Harris retreating. Jorday gets it centered. Cox. And that one spins right into the hands of Harris. A dangerous opportunity for Process FC. And now the U.S. will try to counter. Ooh, shot on frame and tipped over the top by Burns.
And you can see this is just a tremendous run by Flo Jord in there. She plays it to Cox, tries to flick it with a little bit of the outside of the foot, couldn't get much on it, and Krieger with an unbelievable recovery run, and then on the opposite side, forcing the goalkeeper for Process FC, Burns, to make a save.
Lloyd gets it back after the corner, but still unable to crack through this Process FC defense. Thomas turns and right into the foot of Abby Boyan. And a misconnection there between Whitehill and O'Reilly. The unforced turnover will give it back to Process FC. Warming up here in Cary, North Carolina. Started in the mid-70s, getting up to the 80-degree mark. Supposed to, later this afternoon, get up in the high 80s. But a light breeze coming through. Pretty pleasant temperatures, but I'm not out there playing, so what do I know? Oh, Devi off the top crossbar with her left foot. That would definitely have scored on the 10-foot frame.
And that was another opportunity that came because of her tenacity defensively to win the ball and just pelts that ball in off the crossbar. Excellent effort by the young Tar Heel.
Underneath, that one sails it over the top of the frame and out of the stands.
And the U.S. really putting pressure on the back line. A turnover here to O'Reilly.
90 seconds left. Oh, that was a chance right there. Whitehill with a clutch deflection to take that away. She took a chance. If Whitehill does not get that deflection, KJ Jeter would have had a lot of room. Here's Shores. 1 minute to go in the second half. Shim had the game winner yesterday as the U.S. women beat Austin Rise FC 2-0. Whitehill. Pretty strong boot.
Just not able to get her head down and keep that on frame, right? We've talked about how those long balls in the air just are not effective in TST. Everything's got to be driven mid-range or on the ground so it can hopefully deflect off of somebody and create a second chance.
Shim thought she had a takeaway. That's how she won the game yesterday. Her defense with a takeaway led to the open net goal, and the U.S. were able to get the game one victory. This time the whistle against Shim, and this should be the last play of the second half before we go to target score time, and the dangerous Marta Cox will do the honors here. Shot left of the goal, and that will end the second half. Great action between the U.S. women and Process FC, and we will head to target score time. The first team to score will walk away with a win and a trip to the quarterfinals. We've got that coming up right after this.
The soccer tournament is presented by Adidas, the official fanwear and performance footwear partner of TST.
So much fun down here at Wake Med Park in Cary, North Carolina. You should mark it on your calendars and join us next year at the soccer tournament. $1 million on the line. The U.S. women, the defending champs from a year ago, and they are getting tested here today by Process FC. And in target score time at the end of the second half, the target score is the leading team score plus one more goal. And since we are knotted up at 2 goals apiece, that target score is 3. Players will be removed off the pitch, one aside, every 3 minutes until 2v2, and then you just let it rip.
Makes it such an exciting end to a match, right? Every game, there's an intensity at the end. We've seen teams come back from 3 goals down. We've seen teams score quickly. I think the majority of those goals are scored in the third round of play, or third 3-minute time of play instead of round. But it's always exciting, and what I've been listening to from some different coaches is a lot of coaches are saying we don't have to be aggressive in those first minutes, right? We can let the play build. We can be extremely composed, looking for the right time. As you see there, 24% of goals are scored when it gets down to 3v3. Skewed maybe a little bit on the men's side as well, but such an exciting finish to a match. That's what I love about this TST event is they're constantly evolving it. We saw the first year Newtown really was trying to drag play out, sitting on the ball, and so this year there's the evolution of the 8-second rule. Ball has to stay moving. So each year they're evolving this event to continue to make it exciting and challenge players and coaches.
And we are underway in target score time. U.S. coming out aggressive.
This U.S. team has such depth. Each game we see sort of a different 1 or 2 players emerge to really be the stars of the match. Bella Devi has been tremendous for them today.
Lloyd. Too much pace on that one. She claps her hands together.
Couldn't make the jersey connection from Lloyd to O'Reilly.
The U.S. continuing to pressure 2 totally different styles defensively between these 2 teams. And Debbie with the takeaway. Kimball looking to cut back. Instead plays it back to Shores.
And we're seeing them. They don't want to force the ball. The last thing they want to do is get countered, and so they're being extremely intentional in this build-up.
Cox almost had the steal. Long! Oh, rejected. Good defense there. That was a good-looking strike, low and driven by Long.
And I love that pressure by Devi afterwards, but we're going to see Shore. She's going to cut this ball inside, look to get the shot off. Great defense there by Process FC, and we're seeing them get so compact, really denying any opening for the U.S. to find.
Yeah, Shore's on that attempt, not Long.
You've been saying that Shores is a little bit of a baby Long, right?
I have. They remind me.
Long 2.0.
Yeah, Allie Long, 37 years old. Made her debut with the U.S. Women's National Team back in 2014. Yeah, Shores, a nice role model to get to play with.
And what I love about this event is it is really a family event as well. So I saw Allie Long with her twins after the game yesterday, kind of playing on the golf cart, walking around, and really everybody comes out to support the players and the teams, and it is such a just an unbelievable atmosphere here in Cary, North Carolina.
Even if you've never set foot on the pitch in your life, these women to look up to, so many moms out there that have, I mean, they look phenomenal. They've got out in great shape. So role models for all moms out there for sure. Just over the top.
Once again, Casey Lloyd, their free kick specialist.
So Casey Lloyd and Carly Lloyd both out there right now, along with Allie Long, who is on the pitch now, along with Shores. And Allie Krieger, the defender, the gritty one with the ball at her foot, one of the anchors for the U.S. on defense. That one sails off the foot of Casey Lloyd, so Process FC will have the goal kick. There's Michelle Akers on the coaching staff for this U.S. team. Two-time World Cup champ, one of the best that has ever played the game.
And she brings the intensity for that coaching staff. She really just such a warrior as a player, and now on the sidelines really brings that fight and energy, which is not lacking when we're talking about this U.S. squad. If anything, grit and toughness define this team as well.
The pressure from Process FC. Lindsay Harris just has to boot it away.
And Menthen comfortable on the ball. Number 5 for White. She's paired in the back.
And the takeaway. Thomas. Has it to Della Rose off the bar.
And I love the composure of Tessa Della Rose. You see her, she's going to pick up her head, and then she always just so composed. So Thomas with that ball in, and you see, picks up her head, and she's aiming for that far post, trying to tuck it inside, and a good back save there by the Process defense.
Della Rose thought she might have the winner. Here's Thomas. Oh, beautiful kick save. Kayla Burns with a quick reaction to take away the potential winner. And there we have it. Wait a minute. No goal. The stadium here all thought that that was the winner.
And Heather O'Reilly's goal is called back. We're going to get a good look at it here. That ball's coming across and up and over. And did it bend out of bounds first? Interesting.
I think there might have been a call
push.
Too much from behind. It was hard to tell what the call was, but I think it was a foul coming over the top. Boy, the slimmest of margins right there, coming up and over.
Yeah, that's the second goal that has been called back for the U.S. Mana Shim was robbed in yesterday's match because she had dropped down to the ground, and there Kate Fossey looked like she got up over the top of the Process defender. And Heather O'Reilly's goal is now called back. So it's 2-2, 7 minutes into target score time.
Oh, have some space. And now Thomas. 1v2. Can she make something happen? Heavy touch. And Kayla Burns able to cover it up. Boy, the crowd here erupted when they thought it was the winner for Kate Fossey, but instead we play on. Down to 6v6. The next goal will win this, and the winner will advance to the quarterfinals. The loser not necessarily eliminated. They're just going to have to go to goal differential in a very tough Group A. Angel City Sevens, Austin Rise FC, along with the U.S. women in Process FC. As soon as this one's over, we will get you to the men's round of 32.
Reggae Rovers had a convincing victory yesterday against my hometown favorite, a team from Greensboro, North Carolina, Say Word, comprised of a number of refugees into this country, young guys that really just love the game so much.
Lloyd. Right in front of the net, and there is the winner from Jen Beattie, the Scottish legend, sends the U.S. into the quarterfinals.
I think she looked up and was like, oh, I'm this close to goal. All right, let's have a rip. The defender, not always seeing herself up that high on the pitch, but comes in at a crucial moment for the U.S. to get them the W in this match versus Process FC. And you can see everyone coming over, smiles all around, with Jen Beattie getting the go-ahead goal and the game winner.
And she will win the Golden Fleece, courtesy of Adidas. There it is. Looks good on you, Jen. And let's send it down to Alexis, who is with the Golden Fleece winner.
Yes, indeed. Jen Beattie, Golden Fleece winner, winning goal. Who would have thought? She told me she put the Factor 50 sunblock on today, and it works wonders.
I did, yeah. What a beautiful day to come out to play some football. Yeah, happy to just get the win.
What were you thinking there? Let me just have a crack at goal.
Well, when Carly Lloyd's on the ball, like you make a move, right? It had to be open, and she set it up perfectly for me. I don't know, there was just a lot of people in the width of the goal, and I saw a gap bottom left, so just passed it in.
Well, you guys are through. You pretty much have the next game to not coast, because I know you're still competitors, but this has to make you feel good.
100%. I think getting 2 wins back-to-back is so good for confidence. Obviously, we want rotations. I think staff have been brilliant, players have been brilliant so far, but we're looking forward to this game tonight anyway.
Well, she can do it in the rain, she can do it in the sun. Jen Beattie, thanks.
Yeah, great job, Alexis. Not only a Scottish legend, but a breast cancer survivor. Impressive stuff. So these are your updated Group A standings. The U.S. women go to 2-0. Impressive stuff, as it is Jen Beattie getting the Golden Fleece. And that will do it from here in Cary, North Carolina for the women's side of things for now. Coming up next, it's the men's knockout round of 32. We send it over to Field 1. For Sari Rose, I'm Elise Woodward saying so long for now.